I get it. You've probably spent a few evenings scrolling through forums, watching unboxing videos, and still aren't sure if that next-level camera will actually make a difference for you. You don't want to drop a few $100s on a piece of kit that ends up collecting dust because it's either too finicky or just not the right fit for the type of sky you want to capture. The biggest worry for most people is ending up with a camera that promises high-resolution deep sky shots but then forces you to wrestle with cooling rigs, extra power bricks, and a learning curve that feels more like a graduate program. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's talk about the ZWO ASI294MM Pro, the newest cooled monochrome camera from the brand that's become a staple in the astrophotography community. At first glance it looks like any other compact, reed-anodized box, but under the hood it packs a 4.3 type CMOS sensor with 11.7 megapixels, about 4144 by 2822 pixels. That translates to a lot of detail when you're stacking 30-minute exposures of a nebula or a galaxy. The sensor is thermoelectrically cooled, which is a big deal for low-light work because it drags the thermal noise down to a level you'd normally only see in far more expensive scientific cameras. Who should actually consider this camera? If you're already comfortable with guiding, know how to use a filter wheel, and have a decent telescope, say a 8-inch SCT or a good quality Newtonian, you'll start seeing the benefit almost immediately. The cooler makes a noticeable difference when you're shooting at high ISO settings or when the night temperature hovers around 10 C. The 16 frames per second USB 3.0 link means you can grab full resolution frames without choking your laptop's bandwidth, which is handy if you want to do live stacking or quick previews while you're on the mount. In short, seasoned hobbyists who already have a basic rig and are looking to push the resolution and depth of their deep sky frames will find the ASI294MM Pro a solid upgrade. On the flip side, if you're a beginner who just bought a beginner-level refractor and you're still figuring out how to polar align and focus, this might feel like overkill. Monochrome cameras need separate filters for each color channel, which adds cost, extra hardware, and a bit more patience to the workflow. If you were hoping to snap colorful nebulae straight out of the camera without a filter wheel, you'll be disappointed. Also, the camera requires a dedicated 12V at 3A power supply, something ZWO doesn't bundle, so you'll need to factor in an extra brick or a portable battery pack. For someone just getting their feet wet, a color camera like the ZWO ASI16400mm can be a smoother entry point. Let's dig into practical strengths. The first thing I noticed when I hooked it up to my laptop was how quickly the sensor warmed up to its set temperature. You set a target like -10 C in the ASI Studio software, and within a few minutes it's there, staying steady thanks to the solid C-Enc machined aluminum housing. That stability matters when you're stacking dozens of frames. Any temperature drift shows up as noise in the final image. The sensor's low read noise combined with the cooling means you can push the ISO higher without the usual grain you see on non-cooled cameras. In real-world use, that translates to cleaner detail in faint nebulae such as the Horsehead or the Eagle, especially when you're shooting from a suburban site with moderate light pollution. Another practical benefit is the USB 3.0 interface. I've used older ZWO cameras that still rely on USB 2.0, and the difference is noticeable. Full-resolution frames at 16 frames per second don't cause my laptop to hiccup, which is crucial when you're trying to do on-the-fly focusing or live stacking with software like SharpCap. The camera also speaks the same ACI protocol that works across most of ZWO's ecosystem, so if you already own a filter wheel or a guide camera, integration is essentially plug-and-play. You don't have to hunt for third-party drivers or worry about compatibility quirks. Now, the weaknesses. The biggest friction point is the menu system. ASI Studio is powerful, but it's also packed with options that can overwhelm someone who isn't used to tweaking gain, exposure, and cooling set points. There's no one-click preset for deep sky versus planetary, so you'll spend some time learning what each knob does. The lack of an internal power source means you're always tethered to an external supply, which can be a nuisance if you're trying to keep your setup lightweight for a remote site. Also, because it's a monochrome sensor, you'll need a full set of LRGB filters and a wheel to get true color images. That adds roughly another $300–$400 to your total budget.